about the last meeting you had with the colonel where he was showing you a picture? I think it's a very funny little story. He showed you this picture, or his wife, Luann, is showing you the picture, and the con comes back in him.
Yeah. You know, when you were with him, you couldn't really ask him any questions. Certainly couldn't ask him about Elvis. And I certainly wasn't going to ask him about Holland. So you were, you know, it was kind of like dancing with a grizzly, that you're thrilled that the grizzly bear is dancing with you, but you know that at any moment you can get eaten. So I basically, I tried to ask him about Elvis on the second visit, and he shut me down. He got very angry with me. So on the third visit, I did ask him why he continued to see me. I wasn't really sure why he would see me each time and make time for me and take me to lunch. So I tried to get some real answers out of him, and it was obvious that wasn't coming. So I basically just did what he wanted, which was you just hung out with him, and he would tell you whatever he wanted to tell you about whatever it was he wanted to talk about. So we'd been to lunch on this third visit, and we were they're driving me back to my hotel. And of course, he's in the passenger seat, she's driving, I'm in the back behind Luann in their Buick, this blood red Buick. And it's quiet in the car, and he says to me, again, the back of the head says to me, "We've adopted a son, you know." And I said, no, I didn't know. A four-legged one? And he said, "Oh, I should say not." And he says, "Luann, show her the picture." So she's got her hand on the steering wheel, and she's fishing in her purse, and she finds something. She hands it back to me, and it's a little picture of a club-footed rag doll, kind of like a Raggedy Andy, but it's not even that sophisticated. It's like a carnival doll. Probably was a carnival doll. And, you know, it was homely and kind of homemade looking. And I said, "Handsome," you know, and lied, played along. "Handsome, what's his name?" And the colonel said, "Andre." Oh, my heart stopped. I thought it was the colonel's way of saying, "You know, I'm from Holland. I'm being real with you. You know who I am." And it shocked me so that I just couldn't say anything. And so I just was staring at it, thinking about, what is he telling me when he's telling me this? And then he turns to her, or, you know, the back of the head turns to her, so to speak. And he says to her, "Get your picture back. Luann, get your picture back." And she says, "Colonel, she's not going to steal it." And then, you know, of course, I handed it over. But what a trip. What a character he was. You know, always playing with your mind, always testing, teasing, playing mind games with you, always.
And let that be the words. Were you at his funeral, by the way?
I went to the memorial service, yes. Okay. Yes, I did.
What of his friends and celebrities at the funeral?
Priscilla came and spoke and gave him a little zinger, a little knife at the end. She said all the right things, and then she said something to the effect of, "Well, and now I'm going to find my wallet, because I know I'll probably have to, you know, I didn't have to pay to get in here, but I'll have to pay to get out," which was, again, back to one of his carnival stories about charging people admission to come in to see an act and then paying them to get out. I mean, they had to pay to get out as well. I'm not sure that ever was true, but that's a story he told. So she got her little zinger in. Eddie Arnold was there. Sam Phillips was there. Beyond that, I can't remember what celebrities showed up, but I was standing between Eddie Arnold and Sam Phillips waiting to say something to Luann. And she saw me. And by that time, my Memphis Mafia book had come out, in which the guys were very hard on Colonel. Yeah. And she was angry about that book. And she sent over some very scary looking men to have me removed from the room, even though it was over. It was the whole, I'd been there for the whole thing. In fact, I had recorded it. But as you know, to make her point, she had these very scary looking men escort me out of the room, which was terrifying and embarrassing at the time, but now is kind of a badge of honor. I mean, I didn't know I didn't know if somebody was going to come in my room in the middle of the night. It was scary, but it's all it's all part of the colonel. It's all part of the colonel.
Did you ever see Luann since?
No, never saw her again. No.
Oh, no. Yeah. And the colonel never finished his biography. What does it cost if it's free?
Well, on that last visit, which would have been 1994, that's what I asked him. I asked him, did he want me to help him with his book? And he was mildly insulting about it, that he'd had much bigger names than mine come to him and offer to help. And no, that wasn't why he continued to see me. And so I turned to her and I said, are you recording him? And she said, when I take out the tape recorder, he freezes. And I said, are you taking notes? And then he said, it's all right up here. And I assumed that's where it stayed, but there was a partial manuscript. And I understand that someone has worked on it and has finished it now, and that it will be out pretty soon.
Okay. That's going to be very interesting.
Yes.
Thanks for talking with me.
Oh, it's great fun. I always love visiting with you. Thank you.
Yeah. And I'm just going to say to people, thank you for watching the program. I hope to see you back again in the next program. And remember to subscribe to the channel. See you. This is Steve Ulriksen. I hope you enjoyed this little story. Read more in the book, The Colonel, The Extraordinary Story of Colonel Tom Parker and Elvis Presley. Just updated by Alanna Nash.